Hey guys, back. Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today I'll be doing what if Shinra had Hellflame, and it's been a long time. It's been at least a week since I've done this particular what if, which I actually hate because I love this what if. It's my favorite. So I just figured out the Endeavor's flame is called Hellflame. Not figured out. Remembered that. Are reminded that that's what Endeavor's flame is called, Hellflame. And if you guys have any other suggestions for Shinra what ifs, like if I've been thinking what if Shinra had like magic, but I'm not giving him a grimoire such and such, but like I want to know what you guys think. So like you think that he should have a yeah, but in this what if primarily we're probably going through 3 arcs instead of the one that I just did. Like we're gonna probably go to 3, if not 3, 2, and if not 2, 1. So and we're like reaching the near end of like season 1, and I have to finish up season 2. So like once I could get a content on season like 2. So like yeah. So let's get into this what if. We left off at Captain Obi telling them that they will be reassigned to like Department 1 or number 1 Fire Force Department, right? Shinra right now has his white shirt with his like black vest and black one strap vest. Not white, it's gray, and his long sleeve. Look, his skin tight long sleeve shirt, his black vest, his black one strap vest with his gray shirt, and his with his orange jumpsuit with his orange jumpsuit shirt wrapped around his waist, with his black army boots, with his orange pants. So he's just there chilling, and they tell him about it, and Asta has no problem with it. But then he remembers that, oh heck, I have to go and press my Fire Force suit. Well, Shinra's Fire Force suit is a little different from both Arthur and Maki. So yeah. So he goes in and he sees Iris just laying on the bed on her phone doing something, and he kisses her on the head and tells him that he's gonna go to like the number 1 to the first ward in a few days. She says aight, and he goes and presses his clothes. Then a few days pass and he has on his clothes. He's wearing his normal 8th hat with metals and his normal outfit, right? But the only difference, he has a red sash, and his armband is red with the 8th insignia on it, with a bunch of metals on his left chest, and his hat and his epaulette. He has a string epaulette, so like when those epaulettes are red and they have these little strings coming off of the epaulette. Yeah, basically that. So they see him and ask, wait, what? He then tells him that if you didn't remember, if you were in the army before becoming a fire soldier, you instantly get your rank and your medals you transfer to the Fire Force. Captain Obi then remembered someone telling him something like that, and then he realized, I'm supposed to have 1 medals this whole time. But he was not Obi, not Obi, Maki and second command. I always call him second command because I can never remember his name. Detective Hinata, yeah, Hinate, Detective Hinate, but like I'm gonna call him Hinate. Detective Hinate. So like Maki and Hinate go back and put on their medals when they were in the army. Because if you didn't know, Maki was in the army and he was in the army at the same time. So like, yeah. So they have a little few medals on this. He has well, no, he's not going. So it's only Maki. Maki has like 3 medals on her left chest with a red and black epaulets on each shoulder. So they drive and they drive to the first ward. They get there and they see Tamaki and the other three priest thingy men. I don't know what they call them. And Shinra gets out the car and everyone gets out the car and Tamaki runs up to Shinra and gives him a kiss on the lips. Shinra gives back the kiss and then they went to, like, I think it was like the hall. I don't know. The hall, and they went in. Shinra was looking at Captain Burns and Shinra asked to spar with him. Burns looked at him and kind of smirks because he knows where this is going. And this time Shinra doesn't really want to know nothing about, like, the fire, because again he already knew about the fire and he knew that his mother turned in Inferno. So he doesn't really need any questions, and he knows that his brother's alive and all of that shit. So, like, he's trying to find a way to find his brother, but that's something. So Shinra goes and they go outside and they go in, like, the training arena or something. They were somewhere, I don't know where they were, and Shinra comes out and the rest of the Juggernaut and all of those people come out. I honestly don't remember these niggas' names. Like, I'm so bad at remembering names that I will only remember your name if someone has a similar name to you. So like Maki, I can always funnel her name off to Maki, and Maki then I can funnel her name off to Maki. So I'm kind of depending on people having a similar name. And Detective Hinata, obviously you know Naruto Hinata. That is my favorite ship. So, like, I would remember her name. So, like, yeah. Anyways, so Shinra goes outside and Juggernaut still fights, like, the star guy, whoever his fucking name is, Starman. I don't know what the fuck it is. He pissed me off too, so, like, I definitely didn't remember his name. He hurt Best Girl, so, like, he had to die. It was just a sure fact, he had to die. So everything happens, and this time Burns wouldn't, like, tell Shinra and like Arthur to fight him at the same time. No, he would tell Shinra only, because he knew Shinra that was strong and he did not slack over the time that he met him. Shinra was no slacker. He could throw hands with you and he would most likely win. So Shinra just, like, kept walking, and him and Burns were, like, eye to eye. Remember, Burns is technically Shinra's, like, uncle, but, like, not blood uncle, but, like, that's how Shinra sees him, and that's how Burns sees Shinra, as uncle and nephew, like, vibes. So Shinra's eyes glow a crimson color. His eyes don't go fully red when he's, like, in a certain angle, because I don't know how his eyes turn fully red sometimes. In a certain angle his eyes look like it's fully red, but, like, it's just his pupils are, like, really red right now. And Burns are looking at, like, Asa, not Asa, I mean Shinra, and hit one of his eyes engulfs in flames and his hands get engulfed in flames. Shinra flicks back, and then his hands get engulfed with flames and his feet get engulfed with flames, with black and blue flames, both of them. Shinra runs towards Burns, and Burns dodges Shinra's first attack, but then Shinra put down his hands and lift himself up on Burns' back, on his back. Then Shinra jumped off of him and then shot a fire blast at him. Burns moved out to the way, rolling to the side and moving out to the way of the blast. Shinra then glided toward him and hit the ground. Burns rolled over again to move from Shinra. Burns tried to hit Shinra with a hit, but Shinra backed back at the exact point where it was supposed to hit him. He then backflips on his hands and landed on the gate. and then put fire in his feet and started to blast off. He went for a kick, but Burns dodged, but he used his leg that was down to kick Burns like chin and hit him in the air. Then he kicked him again in the stomach, and then Burns went flying. Burns got his bearings on and just grabbed the ground and then like pushed himself back towards Shinra. Shinra then dodged again and hit Burns in the face. Shinra then grabbed his hand and judo flipped into the ground, where Burns landed. Before hitting the ground, he bent his knees, therefore landing and then jumping up and then kicking Shinra in the back, sending Shinra flying. Shinra then landed on his hand and flipped on the gate again and fired up a bunch of fire, even melting the gate when he blasted off. Then he just went and tried to kick him in the face, but then that's not what Shinra was trying to do. For the first time, he actually showed people that he could use his Adola Burst. He just glitched out of reality, it seemed. That he glitched out of reality. He then appeared behind Burns and said, "One tap." And then, all of a sudden, Shinra's hand was at Burns' back. And a burst of flames came out of Burns' stomach. And Burns fell to the ground. Now, you remember when in Naruto where this was this explosion guy where he used to like hit you with an explosion under your skin? Basically that's what Shinra did, but at a very low level, not to kill Burns, because if you don't know, that kills people. So it's a very low, but you can still see the fire coming out of Burns' body, or Shinra's uncle, whatever you want to use. Everyone was shocked. They never see their captain get beaten before, but obviously Burns were holding back, so was Shinra. But is that Shinra had a better tactical mind than Burns, or he was thinking ahead? Well, Shinra, to be honest, was always thinking about fighting Burns, so Burns always beat him on a regular basis when he came to visit the first ward, which people didn't recognize him as, because when Shinra was coming to visit, he had longer hair and his hair was really long, so no one really recognized him at that point. So yeah, so Tamaki ran up to Shinra and asked him if he was okay, and Shinra said yeah. And Burns then got up a few minutes later, a few seconds actually, and congratulated him, and they went back in. Then we time skip to see them preparing for the massive inferno infection that they were, and they told Shinra and Arthur to stay back since they're not officially part of the number one thing. They're just come to spectate. Shinra doesn't really care because he's a very lazy person, and he will like the off time and just chill. Shinra would just go and wait. Arthur would be kind of restless, but like he said, it's just time to relax, so he doesn't really mind. Then they see a person get turned into an inferno with a bug, and when Shinra saw the bug, his mouth started to dribble a little bit. Because if you don't know what happened in episode 1, you would know why he's dribbling, because of the bug. But if you didn't, you're gonna have to wait, because you should have watched episode 1. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's your fault, bitch. It's not my problem. Anyways, Shinra then put fire in his feet and then blasted off, gliding toward he first destroyed the inferno by hitting off its head with a punch, and then started to glide through the alley. They're only fighting the two priests, the guys, the star one and the star guy, and ice guy. I can't notify these fucking names. God damn it. Anyways, and Shinra just left it at that, because he sent star guys, he sensed his heat signature, but he didn't sense cold guy's signature. So he knows it's either him or him, but he's pointing him more towards Starman, right? And they go back to the first ward, and Shinra and Arthur still go sneaking and find the bug, where Shinra's mouth is drooling at this point. The guy still comes in and tells him that he's been looking for the person that was doing this too, and also he thinks is Star Guy too. So like Shinra says the same thing, and they go off. And then we time skip to see that Tamaki's being held up by Star Guy and all that shit. She still sends a signal towards Shinra, and Shinra still comes bearing down, hitting his like leg into Starguy's face. Stargaze, he gets off of his face and runs towards Tamaki and says, "Serpent snake." And then a black snake made out of flames with blue eyes comes out of Shinra's hand, and he places it on like Tamaki, and it kind of not kisses Tamaki, it licks Tamaki's cheek, and then it absorbs into her body, and then like all of her wounds are like scratches start to lift up in smoke, and then they become nothing, and then it's just she's perfectly healed after that. Shinra then looks at Starguy and says, "You are gonna pay." And Shinra just blurs out of sight, and then as you see this, Shinra's hand is true like Starguy's like chest. But Starguy has a little foot in him, and just decides I was trying to hit him with a blast on the face. But like I said, Shinra is a second generation and a third generation, so he would be able to cancel out his flames. And he would be shocked, and he's dying, but then a bottle breaks in his chest, and then a bug starts coming out. Shinra doesn't feel like stopping the bug, and his mouth is drooling at this point. And the bug hops into Shinra's mouth. Then Shinra bites down or eats the bug, and then one of his eyes engulfs in a blue flame. His hands become black, and his legs shoot up. His the fire that comes from his legs shoot up and form kind of like demon wings at the back. His eyes become fully red. His teeth becoming sharper for some reason. Remember, in the first episode, Shinra's body could not take his full power, so his full power could be released by eating an Adola bug, which I will explain in probably not in any scenario, probably in about like episode like part fucking 16. No, I'm just kidding. Part 6. I'll probably explain it, but right now I'm not gonna explain it. So Shinra's body does that, and he's kind of going out of control. He's kind of looking everywhere. You can only see the X and the circle in his eyes, and then the rest of his eyes are blood red, and he can only see those things. And Tamaki is looking at, because he looks kind of like he's crazy right now. And Tamaki hugs him from behind, and his eyes return back to normal, and his body goes back to normal, but one of his eyes is still engulfed with a blue flame. Shinra calms down and blue flame goes away, and Shinra realizes that he got a massive power boost. Now Shinra cannot get any more power from just eating any other bug. It's that it only took one bug to unlock his true power, so there's no eating more bugs for him. So Shinra just goes home and goes back to the Force Ward. Well, no, he can't do that yet. So the cold guy and the other guy still come, and the snipers still try to kill all of them. But this time Shinra would snap out the existence of the first arrow and the second arrow, and they would get scared. But before they can leave, Shinra would appear on the roof using fire movement and start choking the other one. Because right now Shinra is not in the best mental state. He might have got out of his crazy state, but he's not there yet. So he was thinking to drill a troll through her heart, but then he gets a minute of hesitation and just decides to leave it off there, and he kind of goes back. To them, they went back for no reason, but he went back because he knew if he killed her, he could be losing valuable information that he could get later. So she is dead on scared of Shinra, because Shinra is faster than her, can see her at all times, and just straight up could body both of them without even thinking. That's pretty scary if it comes to me. But Shinra goes back, and they go back to the first ward, and everything happens from there. And then we get to see them go back at 8th, but we see Tamaki. Well, Shinra would know about Tamaki being here this time because she kind of sleeps in his room, so like he would notice. and Shinra would be all of that. She'd be glad that she's at the first, the 8th ward right now, and not at any other. I said it was gonna be at least 2 arcs, but like, I guess not, because the rain is falling and I don't want like any interruptions. So guys, that'll be the end of the video. I'm so sorry.